Slay the Spire. Yeah. So shit just works. He's a good guy. We've been having a back and forth on Twitch. He first actually showed up on my stream, asking me about the book and asking me about Twitch for Dummies, asking me about inspirations behind it, and also he told me that he was really enjoying the content featured in Twitch for Dummies, and I just saw him stream. He actually has done something that I need to do today. I need to make sure that I do it. I need to see it all the way through. I am working on my very first compilation video. It's now if I run out of you want to come up here? There you go. How you doing, Benedict? If I run out of juice to talk about microphones, if there are no more questions about microphones, and we cover TwitchCon and everything, I may actually pull up HitFilm Express. HitFilm Express, and I may actually walk you guys through some of the edits that I'm doing, so you can get a quick preview of what it is. Now, if you want to also know the software that I'm using here, you can actually pick this up next month. This is actually making YouTube videos. This is from the Dummies Junior series, and while you may not see my my name on the cover, you will see it right here in the opening. I was asked to write a chapter for this book. Now, they don't really necessarily have chapters. They have projects. And my project is Project 4, which is creating a gameplay video. And that's me. That's me right there. I was given a week to do this. And the conditions of it were I had a week to write everything. I had a week to test everything, and I had to use video editing software that was free and available on Windows. So I taught myself a brand new piece of software to me called HitFilm Express, and it's a fantastic piece of software. Cannot say a bad thing about it. Can't say a bad thing about my weekend though, because it was a hellacious weekend. Now, granted, I was real happy with being able to catch the rugby game, even in replay. I was able to game a bit. But yeah, I had some stuff blow up at the office, and I had to work off the clock this weekend. So it was and right now it's kind of a nail biter project. The good news is that I have completed what I needed to complete, and I am over the moon over this. I am just over the moon. I am thrilled, and I am thrilled to also be able to come here and give you guys a chit chat about microphones. So let's talk about what we're doing here. Now, you're going to notice that I'm using a slightly different microphone from what I normally use on stream, okay? And I'll explain all the ins and outs and all the bells and whistles of these microphones. These microphones are featured prominently. Oh, incoming. Hold on. Oof, that's good beer. They're featured prominently in both these books. What? Are you kidding me? We're gonna kick this off with Blind Gamer Steve with a resub of 3 months in a row. Hot damn Alabama! That's my boy Steve, yo. That's Steve Saylor, everybody. Steve effing Saylor. Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much for that sub. I appreciate you, buddy. It's funny. I'm actually treading I'm treading the memories here. I'm bringing up the memories, buddy. Bringing up them podcasting memories, yo. Yeah, what a guy. How you doing, Thermal? Now, Thermal, I know you're an audio tech guy. You're doing music tech right now. You're studying music tech, so I would love to get your input on some of this stuff. So let me go ahead and start from the beginning. And the reason I'm shouting out Steve Saylor there is 2 reasons. One, October 1st, Steve and I are celebrating 1 year of Blind Leads the Blind, and we're doing that at 1 o'clock. And we are going to go until probably 10 o'clock that night. We're going to do a 9-hour stream marathon, and we're going to basically break in Shadowkeep properly. And Steve, can you remind me what is the charity that we will be doing? We'll be featuring on that stream, because we are going to feature a charity. Able Gamers. This is a nonprofit, and if you want to whisper me that. You want to whisper me that link, Steve? Going ahead, I will make sure that I pop that up in chat. But Able Gamers is the charity where they help. They basically help they help make games accessible to people of all different kinds of ailments. Was that what we would call it, Steve? Ailments, disability. I hate using that term, disabilities, but you got to call it what it's called. Now, that being said, Steve is legally blind, but he is better at platforming on the PS4 than I am, bastard. Anyway, disabilities. We'll go with disabilities. How you doing, Devil Roses? How you doing? Good to see you. So let me talk a little bit about Steve, about my buddy Thermal in chat, and about this particular book. So this is Podcasting for Dummies. This is the 3rd edition, and I have an entire section dedicated in Podcasting for Dummies just on microphones. Just on microphones. I touch on them in this other book of mine, Twitch for Dummies, but I'm bringing up Podcasting for Dummies for a specific reason. It was around 2005, 2006 that USB mics became extremely popular. Extremely popular. And people have used have used mics of different varying qualities throughout the years of USB mics. And actually, I'm wearing an example of one right now. And I know I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but I want to start off first by talking about USB mics. Once upon a time, I would never recommend a USB mic. I never would. And here's why. USB is more or less a transfer of data, right? It's no different than FireWire. IE 1334 for those of you who remember it from the PC side. But whether you're talking about FireWire or whether you're talking about USB, it's basically a transfer of data. And those original USB mics were having a tough time keeping up with the amount of data that audio would need to re-render properly, right? So you would have problems with latency. Latency is the stuff that you're hearing right now on my stream when I have people come in and we have people talk about microphones and we have people and we have people do gameplay. You might hear on my stream, big quotes around mic, you might hear people have an echo in their voice. And the reason why is because something, I'm not sure what, but something is causing a slight echo in my audio signal from the PS4 to the to the Origin PC. So that data's got to travel, and if it can't keep up, if the data can't keep up, that's when you start having latency issues, where an echo will start getting really, really harsh, and then when it gets caught up, it'll start to sound better, and then it will start to sound pronounced again, then it will start to sound better. That ebb and flow tells me it's a latency issue, not another input somewhere that's throwing things off. But since that time in 2005, 2006, when Steve Saylor and I started podcasting, we are now in 2019, and I got to tell you, USB microphones have come so far in their build, in their technology, and in their quality. So here's one I want to talk about right here. This is one of the first USB mics that I tried out that I said, okay, this is a mic I can get behind. This is a Rode Podcaster. That's R and O with the slash through it, DE, the Rode Podcaster. And what this looks like, just like any other mic. In fact, it looks like the mic I've got up here right now. But here's the thing: if you take a look, you'll notice that the jack is actually a USB jack, and this can plug directly into your computer, directly into your audio capture card, directly in your sound card, and this will.
I don't know that one.
Oh, sorry about that, Alexa. But it will no, this is a microphone. This is a beer. So this microphone right here that I'm holding in my hands, Pip has recorded 2 podcasts on this. And she was going to record audiobooks, but that goes into a different level of recording equipment, which we are going to get to. So this USB mic, the Rode Podcaster, it goes for a few $100s. I want to say last time I checked, it was around $150, maybe even $250. But this is pro quality microphones. You're starting to see these pop up in professional studios now. And I'm not just talking about podcasting studios. I'm talking about actual recording studios with artists who are all working on digital platforms now. It does look a bit like a lightsaber. It's hefty. It is a very hefty microphone. But it is all USB. So you could plug this directly into your computer, or you could mount it on one of these boom mics. Wherever you put it, this is not a mic that you would want to do an entire show holding on to like this. First off, one, it looks a little wrong. It looks a little wrong when you do this for many reasons. But also, your arm's going to get really tired after a while if you're holding onto a microphone. But if you're looking to make an investment, into a solid USB microphone, I'm going to recommend the Rode Podcaster. Okay. So if anybody has any questions about the Rode Podcaster or about USB microphones in general, feel free to ask. Now, there was a microphone that I wanted to have here, but I left it upstairs. Let me see if I can use technology to my favor. Hold on a second. Computer, drop into the kitchen. Hey, Pip. Hey, Pip. Pip. Oh, dear. Pip. This is why we got the Alexa to begin with. We got the Alexa so that I wouldn't have to shout. Serena. Is anybody upstairs? Computer off. Oh well. Okay, so I'm trying to see if I have another one in my office I can show you. I can't. Anyway, now here's something to know about USB microphones. USB microphones are probably some of the most versatile microphones that are out there. For example, there's a maker of microphones out of Japan called Zoom, and they do the Zoom H1N, the Zoom 2N, H2N, the Zoom H4N, and the Zoom H6N. These are all varying microphones. And what's really amazing about these recorders, the H1 is probably one of the most affordable, and also one of the most portable, and it just records everything directly into an SD card. So you can get hours and hours and hours of quality high-end audio recorded using an H1N. Now, while that's great and all, the reason I'm going to be pushing on you either an H2N or an H4N is that these are a little more versatile. H2 and H4N are both portable USB recorders, but they can also double as on-desk USB microphones, and they are absolutely phenomenal. And speaking of phenomenal microphones, I completely missed what I had right in front of me. Here's another example of an extremely versatile, extremely high quality USB mic. This is the Shure MV51, and this is featured in both Podcasting for Dummies and I believe in Twitch for Dummies as well. If you're looking for a really, really nice quality microphone, I cannot stress this enough. First off, it comes with its own little kickstand. So literally, it just sits on your desk like this. Now, this is my gaming mic. This is the gaming mic that I use. I have this plugged into my PS4, and I can go on ahead and I can actually do gameplay directly through here. What's really, really nice about the MV51, and the MV51 is the model up from the MV5, which I thought I had over there. But the MV51 has a small little touch display at the very bottom. That touch display allows you to set this up for different modes. Everything from just using this as a straight talk. It gives you straight talk. It gives you talk with the. It will actually mix talk and music directly. You have both USB input here, but you also have a separate monitor here, in case you want to listen to your voice in real time. You can do that all with the MV51, and this one goes for about $100. I cannot tell you how good this mic is. It's an absolutely phenomenal mic, and again, it plugs in directly into your computer. No latency issues whatsoever. Now, if you're using an older computer, you might run into latency problems. Computer off. You might run into now you know the trigger word from my Alexa. But the difference between using this as a USB mic and using something like the H2N or the H4N from Zoom is that these two devices actually work as recorders, as independent recorders. You can have them as desktop USB mics, or you can go ahead and take them with you. You can take either model with you and take them out into the field. And you can do live recordings, and everything goes straight into an SD card, similar to the H1. The difference between the H1N versus the 2N and the 4N, the 2N and 4N can work as USB mics on your desktop. The H4N, which is the model I have, actually works as a preamp. What's a preamp, you wonder? Okay, a preamp allows you to have a small amplifier, completely USB powered, plugged in directly into your laptop. And then what happens is that now you have the ability with your laptop and this H4N, you can go ahead and plug in what are called XLR microphones. And XLR microphones are the broadcast and industry standards. These are the ones that all the professionals use. When you go to rock concerts, that's what they're using. It's all XLR microphones. Okay. I've been going pretty hard for about 30 minutes right now, and I know I've been throwing a lot of information at people. So what I wanted to do was just very quickly ask if anybody had any questions right now about microphones specifically before I start getting into XLR microphones. We focused on USB microphones, very popular with podcasters. You can find really good microphones at just under $100 for USB, and you'll get nothing but quality sound out of it. So let me just go ahead and pause, and I'll find out if anybody's got any questions for me. Meanwhile, I can get a few more props out. The Blue mics. Classics. The classics, mate. Absolute classics. Yeah, Blue mics. Well, that's actually the mic that shit just works. It's just work. Let's try that again. That is the mic that shit just works with. Yeah, he's using a Blue microphone right now. Now, Blue, they do, they have an entire line of USB mics. In fact, they were the first to really become popular with podcasters. They had what was called the Blue Snowball, and this was a microphone that was under $100, and that microphone is absolutely it's just a workhorse. It's absolutely phenomenal. Now, the first models of Blue, you had to really shout to even get picked up by them. And that was a problem. That was a bit of a problem. They've gotten better at their pickups. They've gotten better at their sensitivity. Plus, Blue microphones, again, they're all USB powered. They actually have they have much more sensitive pickups, and that's what really makes or breaks a microphone. How good is the pickup? And it's what's built inside the mic. It's not something that you necessarily see until you take apart the mic. And the more your microphones are, the higher your microphones go up in price, the more sensitive the gear inside a microphone is. Here's a perfect example. So one of the industry standards when it comes to mics is the Shure SM51. Is it? Yes, the Shure SM51. And the Shure SM51 that's the workhorse that everybody raves about, everybody loves. All the professionals in rock use it, and here's why: it is durable. There is an infamous test that Shure microphones still do to this day. They'll take a 2x4, they'll take a nail, and they'll take a brand new out of the box SM51, and they will hammer a nail into a 2x4 with this brand new microphone. Then they'll plug up the microphone, they'll give it to a musical artist, and it'll sound brand new, not a problem with it at all. Now, why is that? The way a Shure SM51 is made is it's got pickups inside of it that are very durable. They can take a beating. They're the ones that you can go on ahead and, the infamous mic drop that everybody loves to mimic. If you actually did that with a microphone, chances are an audio guy would punch you in the nads, because pickups can very easily get thrown out of whack, and then that's when mics stop working. So you want to make sure that you take care of your pickups. But the pickups inside of an SM51 have been built to take a beating. and they have been specifically made for rock singers. So that's what's going on there. The first Blue microphones, their pickups are very, very they were durable, but they weren't very sensitive. So you had to really project and really shout to get picked up by the actual microphone itself. Now I'm going to go on ahead and hop on over onto Tay Interwebs, and I'm going to see if I can find out some of the other styles of the Blue microphones. Just going to do a quick search for Blue microphones. Now, Snowball was the very first one to come out, and everybody loves the Snowball. Well, we do love our Snowball, Steve, just so you know. But now you not only have the Snowball, you also have the Yeti, and then you've got the Bluebird. Now, the Bluebird is one of the higher higher level microphones. That comes in at about $300. The Blue Yeti, little more sensitive with the pickups, not as sensitive as a Bluebird, but it comes in at around 120 to 150 depending on where you shop. And then finally you've got the original Blue Snowball, and you can pick those up for $50. And again, they're great microphones. And like you see here, Steve says he uses the Snowball as his USB mic on his PS4, so that's his gaming mic. Yeah, they've come up. The Blue microphones have only gotten better and better and better with time. And if you're on a budget but you want a really nice quality mic, then yes, I'm going to go on ahead and say definitely get a Snowball. It's a great entry level mic. But you know what also makes a great entry level mic is this right here. Right here. The gaming headsets, and right now my headset is muted. So
Mic on.
yeah, now my mic is on. Not that I'm using this mic. I wonder if I could if I wanted to. Actually, yeah, you know what? I said this was going to be a show about mics, so hold on a second. Mic check 1, mic check 2. Okay, here we go. Now you can hear me on my Corsair video game headset. This is the quality of sound you get when you're working with a video headset. Now, what are the things that I have to be careful about? Well, each headset is built differently. When I first started these headsets, this headset cost me roughly just over $100. And I love the quality of the Corsair of the Corsair headphones. Now, the thing about the mic itself, though, is that with the mic, if I take the headset off for any reason, well, now my pickup is affected because, of course, I've got range. The headset mics that you're using, those have range. Those have a very limited range, and because they have limited range, you have to always be aware of your headset. If you brush up against it, that's going to cause a little friction. Sometimes these microphones can be very sensitive. So if you get really into your gaming, as I have been known to do in the past, that can also sometimes blow out the microphone. Also, if you are suddenly coming back from a break and you're wondering why is my input audio? Oh, that's right. I need to lower the mic. So the downside of using a gaming headset as your USB mic is you have to stay within range of this mic. You have to keep your headset on to keep it working. And on a large scale, and I'm painting with a very broad brush here, but on a large platform, on a larger scale, gaming headset microphones will not have the same quality as a microphone like the one I'm using here. Now, I'd be really curious to hear, since I'm not hearing myself in here. I could always activate monitoring, but then some gaming headsets build in a delay. I'll talk about delay in just a second, but I will be curious. I'm just going to throw this out to chat. What do you notice in the difference between that microphone that I was using just a moment ago and this microphone here? Does my voice sound cleaner? Does it sound like I'm speaking from an actual speaker? Yeah, there's no bass at all. See, that's the thing. There's no bass at all. This is what this is when you hear people talk about when you talk about a tinny sound. This is what they're talking about. There's a crisp, really a decent sound for a headset mic. I was using another headset, my very first gaming headset. Oh shoot, what was it? My kid actually used it as well. She used the same brand for many years. Let me just see. I can find it quickly this way. If I go Amazon gaming headset, and then I think $30. Oh, USB, $30. And it should pop. Yep, it popped up straight. Is that it? No, that's not it. Hang on a minute. Let's see what. Let me see what they got here. I'll do this. See, that's Logitech. Logitech actually, $24. HyperX wasn't the one I used. Corsair was not. Corsair's the one I'm using now. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. Ah, there they are. Sades. S-A-D-E-S. Sades A60. These are over-the-ear stereo headphones with microphone, noise isolating, volume control, LED, blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's what these were. The Sades A60s. Those are my very first. Gaming headphones, and they were good. And I still use them whenever I do Philippus Freaky Friday. And originally we were using that as our gaming mic because if I was using the Corsair, the headphones are better, but the pickups on these are so narrowed down to the gamer's voice that when I sat behind Pip and heckled her, you couldn't hear me. And the whole idea of Philippus Freaky Friday was that you could hear ourselves over the mic. Now, that's twofold. There are two reasons why that was happening. One, we were using what was called a dynamic microphone. Okay, and I'm going to switch back over here. So this and the Corsair mic is an example of what is called a dynamic mic. It picks up the voice that is directly going into whatever the audio source is. It has to go directly into the microphone. Now, pros and cons of that. The pros of that is dynamic mics tend to cancel out a lot of the surrounding noise around it. So if you're looking for really clean studio quality, if you're looking for what is called a noise floor, a really low noise floor, you're going to want to use dynamic mics. And these are the ones you talk directly into. Now, right now I'm using this mic, but let's go ahead and let's switch back over to the microphone that's suspended here. And everybody, please don't be shy. If you've got questions about microphones, you've got questions about audio, if you've got questions about anything concerning broadcasting or content creation, please, please, please. That's why the chat window's up there. Go on ahead and ask away. I don't mind if Steve dominates the conversation. He helps keep things going, you know. And also, Steve knows what he's talking about because I think he's featured in Podcasting for Dummies, as a matter of fact. So now you've got me going with this microphone, and you can obviously tell the difference. There's a little more bass involved. There's a lot of subtlety involved in that you really pick up. The pickups in this microphone are far different and far more sophisticated than the pickups in this particular mic.
Off.
All right, this microphone right here. Okay, now if you want to get a closer look at what this is, I'm going to go on ahead and remove the cover here gently, or as we like to call it in broadcasting, the microphone's condom. There we go. Be gentle. Okay, and then I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to zoom this closer. Oh. So, I know you can barely hear me, so I'm going to shout a little bit. This is what the pickups of a microphone look like. Now I'm going to bring it back over here, and you may notice that there's a little more oomph that's being picked up right now. That's the reason why you're picking it up is that this mic is currently unfiltered. There's no windscreen on it. And the thing about windscreens are mainly for wind. But why would you have a windscreen on a microphone that's indoors? You would do it so that you can go on ahead and and maybe block out some of the noise that's happening around the microphone. Now, right now, this microphone is extremely noisy because, well, let's be honest, I've been moving these around and I've been showing them off. But this microphone right here is the Shure SM7B. This microphone is about $400. Why? Because it is an industry standard. The pickups in this are that good. It's dynamic, though. Because it's dynamic, it means it's going to get a slightly a richer sound out of it. There's going to be a little more bass involved. It's not going to be as crisp as the pickups in this microphone. This is what you hear. Do you have a decent mic or is it crap? Okay, so Chavez, I've watched your stream go up in quality. Now, when I say in quality, I don't mean in content. Your content is bae. I freaking love watching your stream. You know that, brother. And that's watching you start to actually like. Now, hang on a minute. Hang on. You have a microphone, but you have a microphone that's on the basics, on the budget, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and show you the difference between this microphone versus the microphone you have. Hold on one second. Actually, I can do this. I'll go ahead and switch over again.
Mic on.
We go to properties. We switch back to the Corsair. So if I remember correctly, Chavez, you're using. Hey Jet, how are you? Good to see you. Now if I remember, Chavez, aren't you using a gaming headset as your microphone? Remind me. I'm trying to remember if that's the case or not. Oh, and thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the shout out for Chavez. If it wasn't for Chavez, Steve wouldn't be getting his t-shirt. Just point blank. Steve would not be getting his t-shirt without the amazing Chavez at the helm, and I appreciate that. The Razer Siren. Okay, so you see, so you're using a gaming headset. You actually have really good. That's a good quality headset. But here's one of the things that's different about the headset. Your headset and your headset is probably a condenser microphone. Now, what's the difference between a condenser microphone and the microphone that's up here? Like I said, dynamic. You speak into the knobby end. Now I'm going to switch over. I'm going to switch back over to the condenser mic. Here's the difference. Hello, everyone. Now, it's okay. So it's the Astro 50 headset. I can tell you right now.
Mic off.
That's okay. I gotta adjust this because now it's I'm over modulating here. So the Astro A50, and I've got the A40 down there. The A40 and the A50s, their mics are okay, but they're condenser mics. They are condenser mics in that they pick up a lot of the background noise that's going on. So does this mic, but this mic is super sensitive. This is a condenser mic. A condenser mic can also be used in studio. A condenser mic can also be used on location. But one of the things that it will pick up very quickly and very easily are all the background noises that are going on. The pickups in the condenser mic are super, super sensitive. So when I get loud, and I get loud in games, I have to make sure this is far away from my mouth. Now, to give you an idea how far away this mic is right now, I can do this. I can make the hang loose Hawaii symbol. I can place it on its shock mount, put my chin here, and that is considered the perfect length. That is the perfect length from mouth to microphone. And I'm actually speaking softer. I'm actually speaking a little softer, and right now I'm looking at my audio levels, and I can see I'm peaking. I'm peaking pretty hard. This was the very first microphone I ever bought. and it's about $99. I cannot stress to you how good the MXL 990, that's what this is, an MXL 990 is. I mean, I can even hold it up like this, and you can still pick me up just fine. The Astros that Chavez is talking about is actually these right here. This was the first gaming headset that I bought, but I actually wasn't getting very good audio quality from recording with it. And I was having I just could not get it to work decently. I don't know if I was missing. Oh, I know what it was. I can tell you exactly what it was. The Elgato capture card. The Elgato capture card in my PC only has 2 jacks. It only has 2 jacks. The Elgato external capture card has 3 jacks, and that's what I figured out. Everyone else was having great luck with the Astros because they were using an external card. I'm using an internal card, and apparently that's no bueno. So I've been I've had to struggle to get and I'm still struggling with my audio somewhat. Fire in the hole, and I'm still struggling with my audio somewhat. But when it comes to mics and headsets and things like that, I finally settled on the Corsair, and I'm using this as my gaming mic. But I wanted to make sure that I could show you the difference between a condenser mic versus a dynamic mic. And the dynamic mic, if I want it to work, I have to keep it right here, and I have to make sure that that the pickups are right by it. But I'm not using this right now. I'm using this one, and the advantage is, since the pickups are so sensitive, I can still have really good audio quality, really good sound. I still have to turn it down. See, right now I've actually turned down. I had to crank this up. All right, I will. Let me go on ahead and let me check my whispers, and I will find out. Did you whisper it to me? Because I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Pulling it up right now. Ooh. Oh, that's sexy. That's a sexy. That's a sexy mic. Yes. Actually, I know someone who has the Razer Siren mic. She got the pink one, and I have cat hair on my face. Hold on. Yeah, Razer actually makes very good headsets, very good mics. They and they're coming in at about $100. On a whole, that's where really good mics start to come into play with USB. If you start buying microphones under $50, you're kind of rolling the bones as to how good a quality it is. You got the pink one. I think it would be a fantastic color on you. Condensers are great, but pick up a ton of background noise. Yes, dynamics are amazing for vocals, especially as you're ready to get to eat. Especially as you really got to eat the mic to get the best sound and eliminates a lot of the background noise. But then that's the trade-off. See, that's the real trade-off. So dynamic versus condenser, it all comes down to how and what kind of mic you're using, and what do you want to be able to pick up? Do you want to when people come in? See, if people come in here, and I'm using if I have people come in here like when you see me game, and I have say Serena wants to have a chit chat with me while I'm gaming, because that's what she does. She's a teenage daughter, and that's what we're doing. God, Chavez. Hang on a minute. I'm running over to my Twitter so I can check my DMs. And let's see. All right, sent me a photo. Oh, you actually did get the pink mic. Wow. That's rocking, baby. Oh, and is that a Destiny mouse? Oh no, that's a Razer mouse. Yeah. Nicely done. That's a nice setup. Chavez, if it's okay, would you mind if I put that in the Would you mind if I put that in my Discord? I'd love to put that in my Discord as an example of a really tight setup there. That's sweet. So the so again, going back to mic quality. Yes, it is all pink. I love it. I really love it. That's badass. A friend of the stream, Pink Phoenix. She also has an all pink setup, and she rocks it. She just rocks it. So going back to these type of mics, the condensers. Oh, so you got a mouse pad coming to finish it up. Sweet. So the ways to finish up the quick primer is dynamic versus condenser is how much background noise do you want to pick up. If I want to have Serena actually be heard by stream, then that means that that I need to make sure that I have to make sure that I'm using a condenser mic, because if I'm not using a condenser mic, you're not going to hear if it's dynamic. So I'm just basically lifting this up so we can see the differences between the two. All right, so we got the dynamic up here. We got the condenser mic here. This is a Shure SM7B. This is an MXL 990. Now you'll notice that that the MXL is freestanding. This is actually suspended. Does this make a difference? Does this make a real difference? It goes back to what kind of broadcaster you are. It depends on what kind of content creator you are. What gives you the most freedom to do what you want to do and how you want to stream. This was how this was one of the harshest lessons. I got all this equipment and I got this microphone. And now this is back in 2005 when I started working on my first podcast studio. I didn't have a stand for it. I actually had to run out and get a stand, get a desktop stand for the MXL 990. And that's when I realized the importance of working with different types of stands. So this stand that I've got right here, this stand, works absolutely fine. This is a $30, if that, a $30 desktop stand. So what's the difference? What is the difference between a $30 stand and, let's say, a $10 stand, like something like? Hang on a minute, I'll go ahead and like this one here. Could I take this microphone and put it on here? The answer is yes. I could actually do that. If I wanted to, I could take any kind of mic and I could put it on a cheap $10 stand. The problem with a cheap $10 stand, though, is that it can only take so much weight before it starts to collapse. Another thing about cheap stands is that they will pick up vibrations in the desk from anywhere at any time. So Chavez is right. Weight to keep it stable. So what's the breakdown of one of these stands? Let me go ahead and just show this real quick. So this is what the stand looks like. This is what the stand looks like when you get it. $30. What are you paying for? You're not paying for this. Okay? You're not necessarily paying for this. I mean, this is metal, so it's nice and solid. What you're paying for is this. This right here, I would carry 3 of these to different podcasting events, and man, my luggage would weigh a freaking ton because this thing is heavy. But the nice thing about this is that it's stable. This is a weight. Just to give you an idea of how much weight we're talking about, this is that's a lot of weight. Yes, exactly. So what you do is you go on ahead and you get these for maybe $20-$30, and these things are fantastic. These things are rock steady. So, if these desktop stands are so good, what about this stand right here? You've seen this on different photographs of my studio and stuff like that. I'm used to a lot of weight. Oh, cha-ching! Now, this is great, and this is what I started with, but here was one of the problems that I was having. I didn't particularly care for this. A lot of times when people are podcasting or a lot of people are doing content creation or a lot of people are gaming, they tend to lean into the mic. And the problem with leaning into microphones, dynamic or, well, especially for dynamic, but dynamic or condenser, one of the problems is your posture. And if there's something that I've learned in working with a trainer and working with weights, is that posture is everything. So I started with this, and I still travel with these, and these are great. But I prefer this. I prefer this type of stand. Now, what kind of stand is this? This is called a boom mic stand. So I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to switch over again with the microphones again, just so you can hear the difference. I'm going from condenser to dynamic again. But first,
Mic on.
just so we don't lose any momentum here. Switching back over to Corsair. All right, so now you hear my voice on the Corsair. The thing about Corsair, again, I'm kind of limited to what I can do with my with my mic because it is attached to the headset. If the headset comes off, then my audio is shot. But when I use these microphones, I can go on ahead and there we go. Snap that in. So with boom mics, it's a very different experience. It's a very different experience because with boom mics, first it's all about adjustment. The other nice thing is it's hands-free. So when I switch over to this mic,
Mic off.
you'll now notice that the pickups are not as sensitive as a condenser mic. You pick up a lot more of the natural resonance of my voice. I don't necessarily have to worry about blowing out the mic. Oh, and I can also do this. I can now crank the level back up, and now I'm peaking it at a good, comfortable level. Now, some of you may have noticed that on some occasion that my audio may be kind of blinking in and out, and what I'll do is I'll plug and unplug. I'll basically turn it off and turn it on again. What's going on there is this. This right here is the Shure X2U. I've had this for over a decade. I think it's getting ready to give up the ghost. What exactly is this? What this does is that this basically takes an XLR microphone and then it turns it into a USB mic. And again, one of the nice things about having a boom microphone like this is I can do this. I can go on ahead and give a display of whatever I'm talking about or whatever I'm doing, and you'll notice I'm not bumping into the microphone. I'm not worried about. I mean, my hands are free. My desk is free. The area that would normally have the microphone sitting on, similar to Chavez's setup, is now hands-free. And it actually is more natural for me to talk this way, as opposed to being hunched over a mic. And that's a big thing with me is posture. I actually have a posture command in my chat. And just go ahead and tighten this up. And now what I can do is I can, instead of adjusting around the microphone, I can adjust the mic around me. Which is why it was something that was brought to my attention by Marv and a couple other people. When I'm gaming, do I have to do this again? Yeah, hold on. How about now? No? It's still... Oh, wait a minute. I don't have it. The mic gain went down. Got it. Yes, it just went really low because my mic gain was turned down. If I turned down my mic gain, then I've got to shout for you to hear me. But I've turned up the mic gain, so I'm good now. So, going back to what I was saying. So with this type of microphone, with the dynamic microphone, you get more of a natural sound from my voice. The other nice thing is that because of the boom mic, I can now adjust it to how I'm going to sit. So if I'm gaming, if I start doing this and I'm bumping up against the microphone, I know my posture's off, so I can go on ahead and I can correct it. But whether I'm gaming on mouse and keyboard, or whether I'm gaming on a console. Let's say the phone, for example, is a console. Provided I don't let my hands rest, or I let the controller touch the desk, I can work with a more open space. And as a writer, as a recorder of audiobooks, things that nature, yes, that makes a huge difference. This boom mic, what is called a boom mic stand, makes a huge difference. So how much does this cost me? Boom stands cost $100 a pop. Now, I have 1, 2, 3 of these in my studio. Does that mean I spent $300? No. I bought one of these, but then when I started writing for Podcasting for Dummies, some very kind, very generous audio dealers said, "Hey, we want you to talk about our products. So here's a boom mic stand. Here's a microphone. I got this from Shure." So they've been very, very good to me. I'm not going to say write a book and then you'll get free stuff. It doesn't always happen that way. But I got very fortunate with both Podcasting and Twitch for Dummies. Actually, now that I think about it, I didn't get a lot for freebies from Twitch. For writing Twitch for Dummies. It was all this gear was Podcasting for Dummies and stuff. Now, so I've talked a little bit about boom mics, boom mic stands. I've talked about dynamic mics. I've talked about condenser mics. So now again, I'm going to turn it over to chat. What do you think? And this is an honest to God question. What do you think sounds better? My voice on a condenser mic or my voice on a dynamic mic? I'd love to hear your opinions on both. Meanwhile, thanks everybody. Oh, the dynamic. Is it because of the range? Because of the sound range? I love conversations like this. Less peaking audio, more bass. Yeah, you always got to have more bass. Yeah, nothing wrong with a little bit of bass. I'm all about the bass. No trouble. The other nice thing though about dynamic versus condenser, studio condenser mics, is I can get more expressive. That's the thing, and not worry so much about knocking something loose or getting that static sound that sometimes happens when you're starting to lose a mic. So I've talked a little bit about mic stands. I've talked a little bit about microphones. Does anybody have any questions for me at this point concerning microphones or audio in general? Feel free to go on ahead and ask away. And if you get a question for this sort of thing, if you have a question about content creation, about anything specific that we cover in this, feel free. Go on ahead and drop me a voicemail at 703-791-1701, or you can go on ahead and find me on any of my social links and ask me questions there. I would be more than happy to do a live stream like this in the future. I've been meaning to do more of these, just these chit chats about content creation, about ways of improving your stream, different ins and outs of audio, video, that sort of thing. I just have mic envy. When I started doing internet radio, I used the mic that came with Dragon Naturally Speaking. It's still one of the best. Yes. Some of those out of the box microphones are extremely durable. I'll give you a great little trivia about that. I was actually putting together this was when I first started getting into publishing. Okay, when I first started pitching a book, and I thought I got to make it memorable. How do I make something memorable? And at the time, I was like, well, I got friends who are actors. I can reach out to them and I can ask them if they could come in. Would they be interested in doing, some casual audio work, And what I did was that I took fun scenes from the book, right? Some really key scenes from my first novel, and I had actors come in and act out different things. And what I did was that I was using for my mic at the time, I was using the mic that came with my Mac. And this was back when, you know, the monitors were the CRT huge boxes, right? And this microphone sat like one of these Logitech cameras. It literally sat on the top of the monitor. That was my microphone. And I fiddled with the audio a bit. I added a touch of echo, which one thing I've noticed, not echo, reverb. And this is what I've noticed. When you add reverb, that can actually make up for a lot of faults in your room's acoustics. Because I mean, this was long before I even thought about podcasting. So I was using that, and I remember I was playing with some of this stuff for a friend of mine, who was a professional audio and video engineer, and he was like, T, this sounds great. What studio did you record this in? And I said, I recorded it at my house. He's like, really? What was your mic setup? I said, well, you know the mic that comes with the Mac? And he's like, get out of here. And I'm like, no. So, yeah, that was what I was using. And now, why did I start investing then when I got into podcasting? Why did I start investing in stuff like this? Well, when I first started getting into podcasting, I was thinking, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea if I'm even going to like doing this after trying it out for a while. So here's what I'll do. I'll go on ahead and I'll try it out. I'll get the really nice equipment, and with this equipment, if I don't like it, in the end, I'll at the very least I could have an audiobook that I can shop around. You know, if people want to do audiobooks. Now, something else about these microphones, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. Excuse me while I whip this out. So, I want to go on ahead and show this off real quick and explain what this is. So, this is the actual microphone. This is the actual MXL 990. And again, with dynamic mics, I speak right into it, and I have to get very close to the microphone. But you'll notice that with the MXL, I don't speak into it like this. I speak into it like this, or in the case of gaming here, like this. When I'm gaming, it's like this. Now, why is that? Well, there's my target. My target is the MXL label. There we go. That's it. I speak in the label. If I speak towards the label, that's where the pickups are. But they have very sensitive pickups. And I want to make sure that this has like the most stable quality about it. That's where this comes in. Now, you may have seen these sold separately, and yes, you can get them for different microphones if they don't come with them. The MXL 990 actually comes with these. This is called a shock mount. And what you do with a shock mount is it's basically a cradle for the MXL. You go on ahead, you squeeze that to open up the chassis, the apparatus, and you'll notice that now the XML is suspended more or less. It's like shock absorbers for the microphone itself. It helps to keep the mic stable. It helps to make sure you're getting the best quality you can when you're recording. So yeah, that's what this is. It's a shock mount. These can either come with microphones or they can be sold separately. Now, pro tip: when you're putting together the stand, don't have the mic in the shock mount when you're putting the stand together. It's just smarter to put the whole stand together, then put the mic in the shock mount, and then you're good. Okay, so that's just pro tip right there. Now going back to other kinds of mics, though, if you're working on a budget, if you are working on a budget, one of the things to keep in mind is sometimes your best friend is the stuff that's built in. For example, the PlayStation 4 has the PSI, right? And that's the proprietary camera that you have to use when working with PlayStation. I bring this up because, as many of you know, Pip and I will do this thing on my stream called Philippus Freaky Friday. And in Philippus Freaky Friday, what happens is that you flip the script, and then it's Pip who's gaming, and I'm the one heckling her, which is way more fun for me. So for a long time, we were using my original $30 headset that let's see, it was the Sades, the Sades A60s. Again, not a bad headset, and the microphone pickups were so economic that they could pick me up sitting behind her. But then we started tinkering around with the PSI, and it turns out that the microphones built into the camera of the PS4 were perfect for what we wanted to do. It picked up Pip just fine, picked me up just fine, and then we were like, okay, that's the direction we want to go with this thing. So if you're not worried about room audio, or what is also called room noise, then yeah, that's what you want to work with. You want to work with something like that. But when it comes to the reason I made the investment in something like an MXL 990, and then eventually it would go up here. And as soon as this mic gives up the ghost, I'm going to run out and get another one, because this is a beautiful mic to have. But the thing is, my wife and I are we record audiobooks here. We record audiobooks in this very studio, and it's one of the reasons why when I focus on the audio just coming from here, not necessarily from PS4. And I know people have said to me often about the issue with the echo. I know it's a latency issue, or it's got to be a latency issue, because when I run my comms through Discord, I don't have any echo. I have zero echo. So think of that what you will. So anyway, I invest in quality microphones because I want to make sure that my voice sounds as good as it can. I tend to use dynamic mics when I'm podcasting, or when I'm recording in the afternoons, or when I'm streaming in the afternoons. I prefer to do that because that way I can go on ahead and not worry about my voice being too loud. Because I'm a morning streamer, though, I tend to leave the MXL in the mount for the boom mic. I tend to leave it in there because I'm trying not to wake everybody up. Now, granted, sometimes I get salty and I'm going to wake people up anyway. But if I want to keep my voice a little lower, that's when I'm going to go with the MXL. Now, I just recently changed my setup with the cameras, as you've noticed. I still, and this is when I'm looking at chat. If I'm not looking at the camera, that's what I'm checking. That's what I'm doing here. Originally, I had it set up where my camera was here, right? And I was going to go on ahead and I was going to, go on ahead and talk to chat and do this, and then I would go over here to game. And the minute I turned my voice away from the microphone, people couldn't hear me. This is another reason why I use the condenser mic. If I'm just doing this type of content creation stream, obviously I'm going to go with this mic, because I'm not necessarily looking from one screen to the next. I'm not necessarily turning my head. I'm going to focus on the microphone. When I'm focused on the game, I need a microphone that'll pick up a little more than just what's around me. So the real question you have to ask yourself when you are putting together a stream, or whether you're putting together your own recording studio or something like that, you've got to ask yourself, where's my voice coming from? Where's my voice coming from? And also what's more comfortable for me? Because the more comfortable you are, the better your game is going to be. I could go on ahead if I wanted to, and I could probably stay with this condenser microphone, but this dynamic microphone. But I don't want to be doing this all the time. I don't want to be adjusting. I want to make sure that I'm just peeking in the yellow. I want to make sure that I'm comfortable where I'm sitting. I want to make sure I've got good posture, and I want to make sure that I can see the game. I also want to make sure I'm not giving my game side eye and playing like this. I want to make sure that I'm playing straight on. If I'm playing straight on, then I know that I'm good for the game. But how does that affect my audio? So that's why you tend to see me working more with the MXL, because I while I love this microphone, while I absolutely adore this microphone, I know that I am a little more relaxed in what it is and is not picking up if I'm really into the game. But the other thing I had to do, and this is why I made the jump from here to here with the camera, is that since I know that the majority of my time is going to be on the larger PC screen, that's when I said, okay, I'm going to move this camera, because otherwise half of what I'm saying is going to be lost. So I went on ahead and I took my camera, moved it over here. I'm still getting used to it. That's the thing I've noticed. I'm still getting used to it. But this gives you an idea. But again, when you're setting up your studio, you need to figure out, where's my audience going to be? Where's the majority of my attention going to be? And I know for a fact it's going to be in this direction. So if you can see me here, that's great. Now, the downside of the downside of this is that unless I get a specific stand just for my webcam, or if I decide, you know what, I'm going to use my phone as my webcam, which I'd rather not, although I will be using that a lot at TwitchCon, I guarantee you that. It now I've noticed it in some of my game footage that when I start to really get focused into the game, you're seeing mostly the top of my head because this is such a big monitor. But I think the new setup is working. I think I'm finally used to it. And again, when you're putting together your studio, or when you decide you're gonna put together, something for content creation, you want to make sure that you're buying the right kind of microphone for you. The best microphone for you, it could be a dynamic mic. It does not necessarily have to be a Shure SM7B. Now, in a recent book that I'm reading about streaming and about building your stream, the streamer in question, the writer of the book, he actually name dropped the SM7B. And he's saying its praises. I think it's great, but I don't think it's a good starter mic. I don't think this is a specifically good starter mic, because this is a major investment. If you're going to really sink money into a setup, the thing you want is good headphones. You really want comfortable headphones, because you're going to be wearing these a lot. I love these Corsairs, but I will tell you one problem with them. The pads. These things are starting to stink. I have to actually tuck in like tissues and stuff in here, and then I got to Febreze these puppies. They're great. I love them. I do love these headphones, but wow, do they start to stink. So I have to be very conscientious of that. Speaking of conscientious, I also have a litter box that needs my attention over here. But these are the kind of headphones that you want to invest in for your audio. They should be closed ear headphones. They should fit around the ear. They should be comfortable. They should be light, which is terrific for these. There's a lot happening in these headphones. And the fact that they are so light and so easy on the ears, they're great. Now, noise cancellation headphones. The problem with noise cancellation headphones is that if you're trying to get subtlety in your audio, and if you're doing any recording, you don't want noise canceling headphones, because by design, it will cancel out noise that you need to be aware of, that you need to remove at the source. So that's something to consider. That is something to consider when you're getting headphones. But I think it's probably one of the best pieces of advice I ever got. It was from one of the pioneers of podcasting, Sarah Ely, who was the founder of a podcast called Escape Pod. She basically did a whole thing about headphones and about how important it was to have really good headphones, but not noise canceling headphones, because that cancels out noise that you need to be aware of. I originally recorded using noise canceling headphones, and they were great until I started being asked by somebody, "Don't you hear your computer's fan in the background?" And I said, "No." And then I got some really good headphones, and I was suddenly aware that there was this sound coming from underneath my desk where my computer was. So it's so the option of noise canceling headphones, not necessarily the best thing for recording and content creation purposes. So, and for video gaming, you want as much sound as possible so you can hear what sound your enemy is coming from, especially if you're playing a game like Realm Royale, Fortnite, or if you're in the Crucible. You know, you want to be aware of where people are coming from. Okay. So how are we doing, everybody? Any questions for me concerning microphones? I'm getting my beer lotion on. Do I have a compressor or a limiter? Good question. Okay, so what is a compressor limiter? Compressor limiter basically creates noise gates for you. Now, what is a noise gate? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. Think of it as an audio barrier, an audio gate that keeps out unwanted background noise. So if I was doing a compressor or a limiter, if I had that running, what would happen is that you would hear no sound. You know, you would actually hear my voice, and then the minute that I would go quiet, you would have a noise gate fall, and then suddenly you have perfect silence. You have perfect silence between different pauses. I used to have one of those, but I actually took it out of my studio because I couldn't quite get the settings on it just right. Also, if you have your noise gate set up too hard, it will actually cut you off in mid-word or mid-sentence. And you don't necessarily want to have the noise gate. You don't want to be competing against a noise gate. The noise gate should be helping you. Like I said, I used to have one, but I just couldn't make it work. I mean, I could make it work, but I just couldn't find that balance. Because when I'm doing audiobooks, I tend to get very expressive, and I tend to emote a lot. And then there are times that I will get very quiet, and I will get close to the microphone, almost like ASMR, but artistic. And so I think I think compressor limiter, that's what I would call, if you're starting off, that's something that is down the line if you decide you want to go into like hardcore production. So just something to consider there. I personally shy away from that. What I do to increase my noise floor is I go on ahead and I like, for example, let's see if I can't bring these into frame. You'll notice this. I have a quilt. I have actually 3 quilts suspended from a shower curtain rod, and they go the length of my wall here in my studio. This is my dampening material. This is my noise dampening material. So I actually have a really, really good, solid noise floor in my studio. I also have carpet in here, so that helps. That also helps. The thing I'm not looking forward to is I know we're going to be getting wood floors one day. That is going to affect what happens when people are walking upstairs. So I have to be mentally ready for that day. Trying to think of anything else I can mention concerning microphones, concerning audio. I mentioned headphones. Let me think. I covered everything I think I wanted to cover concerning the difference between a condenser mic and a dynamic mic. How are they different? USB mics, all very good. This beer is also very good. I got what I needed to get done. I got done for my day job, so I'm happy there. So what does that leave? That leaves TwitchCon. TwitchCon is next week. Whew. And I'm still trying to wrap my brain around that TwitchCon is happening next week. Still trying to wrap my brain around that. And I won't lie to you, chat, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous about TwitchCon. but I'll get a swim out and I'll feel a little better this today, I think. Yeah. I tell you what, I will talk about TwitchCon, but I'm going to take a quick break, just a quick little tea break, and when I get back, we'll pick up where we left off. Again, if you have any questions, if any questions come to mind to you concerning audio, concerning headphones, concerning mixers. I should touch on mixers, but that I will do after my break. So just give me 1 second. I will be right back. Thanks, chat. Thanks for hanging with me. I really do appreciate it. Yes, I've learned from the masters. I've learned from the masters, Chavez. I was having a chair stream for a moment. Well, I also took a moment. Not only did I take care of my my bodily needs, but I also went and got a few more props. So I was talking earlier about the Shure, yes, best streams ever. So I was talking earlier about the MV51. This is the MV5. This is from Shure Audio, roughly $50. And to give you an idea of how sophisticated this is, if I loosen it up, if I loosen this down here, you'll notice that I can now swivel this in any way. This is a USB mic. Hey, how you doing, Drafty? But this is a USB mic. It's got great sound quality. It doesn't have the same bells and whistles as the MV51, but the MV5 gives a great sound. Gives an absolutely great sound. Was enjoying the view until it was ruined. Bada bing. Now I was also talking about the Zoom H4n. Here's what the Zoom H4n looks like. You'll notice it looks a lot like a taser, but it is not a taser. This is a portable USB recorder. Records everything when you're out recording. Records everything on this. Simple little SD card. Hours of audio. It also works as a preamp. You'll see I got 2 jacks for preamps, and I can actually go on ahead and use splitters on this and get up to 4 microphones on this. All right. And then on top of all that, I could plug this directly into my computer, and this could work as a USB mic. You'll see that it has a spot in the back. I can take that $10 stand, pop it on here, and now I don't even have to hold it. I can just go ahead and have it prop up, and it'll be fine. I'm not. No. You heard me glomming earlier, Drafty, that the Blue Snowball is one of the. It was one of the first USB mics, and it's still considered one of the best. Blind Gamer Steve uses it. I've got friends that use it, and I actually give it a shout out in Podcasting for Dummies. I think it's a great starter mic. I think it's a fantastic starter mic, and it's also quite affordable. Now, what about this? What about this right here? David Smith. Oh, no, that's, hey, first off, how you doing, Dave? Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. This is not an H2. This is the H4n. This was the first N models. They've now replaced all their H2, H4. They've now replaced them with Ns. You got H1n, the H2n, the H4n, and the H6n. The H6n is beastly. I love it. I covet it. I needs it. I wants it. But there's some other stuff I want to spend my money on. This is the H4n. The first thing they did, which was fantastic compared to the H4, was that they fixed the interface. I have in my closet one of the original H4s, and it's really cool. But man, the interface was terrible on that puppy. They actually fixed that with the H4n, and I've had one of these for years now, and I love it. The H2, yeah. I actually had an H2 kicking around here once upon a time. I loved the H2. I got some great stuff on that H2. It's great. You should get it. Thank you, Chavez. I don't use my PC mic enough to spend more. I like the sound quality for how it is. And you know what? That works. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're looking to improve the sound of whatever content you're creating, whether it is streaming or whether you're doing personal recording or stuff like that, then yeah, by all means, you have H2O in the fridge. I love it. But yeah, but going back to what I was saying earlier, what about this monster? Okay, this right here is a Pro FX8. This is made by Mackie. I'm not even sure if they still make these anymore. But this is a USB mixer. Now the question is, why would I need this for streaming? Well, if you decided to do like a show like Happy Hour from the Tower, or if you wanted to do the Shared Desk or something like that, if you wanted to have more than one person on mic, and you wanted it to sound balanced, and you wanted it to sound professional, that's where this comes in. This is only needed. A mixer like this would only be needed if you had multiple sound sources coming in to your stream. Now, admittedly, this looks a lot like the Enterprise right here, with the different levelers and stuff. But the point is that that's how you make a studio sound balanced. You ride the board, you make sure that everybody sounds good, and then you start recording. Now, this particular board The reason why this board is not hooked up is because this particular board has given up the ghost. I plugged it back in just to see how it would sound, and it does not sound good at all. A couple of the channels have already futzed out, so this is no longer an active board. Yeah, that's exactly it. Worn out pots. Now, what exactly is Grizzly talking about there? He's talking about these at the top. Up here is where you plug in your XLR microphones, and from here, this is where you get the sound that you only get from XLR mics. So if you're a solo content creator, something like the X2U that I was showing off earlier, where it takes the XLR mic and turns it into a USB, that's great. But even this has limitations. Like I said, I've had this for like 10 years. I've given it a good workout, but now I'm noticing that the audio can sometimes cut out in the middle of a stream, and that's when I get people like Drafty or Chavez or someone going, "Hey, I can barely hear you." I then unplug and plug it in. Oh, there you are, and everything's good. Now that last go around, though, I will say the reason why you didn't hear me well is because my thumb brushed against mic gain, and of course I turned that down. One of the other things to know about with studio condenser mics versus dynamic mics is that if you have dynamic mics, if you're using dynamic mics, you are going to get a wider, more rich range of sound. The downside is you have to crank everything up. You got to crank up the gain. You got to crank up the volume. You want to make sure that everything, that you're getting a strong signal. With a condenser mic, it's a little different. And if you've got loud people behind a condenser mic, like a studio condenser mic, like the MXL 990, you might have to start, riding the board and making sure that someone doesn't overmodulate or overpower. Now, when you get a mixer like this, if you decide you're going to have a huge stream and you're going to have a talk show format similar to Happy Hour, the question is, what are all these knobs in between? Chances are you will never have to touch these. The ones that you will focus on, the ones up here, which is gain. You're going to definitely work with whether it's sliders or whether it's knobs. You'll worry about these down here as well. All these other ones, no, you wouldn't have to worry about them. In fact, a lot of these mixers now come with pre-designed special effects. Like if you wanted to have a little bit of reverb for everybody, and you wanted it to sound like we were in a concert hall, yeah, you could do that, and it'd be built into the board. And then when you've got it built into the board, you'll get that sound. But the problem is you will never be able to remove it because it's not the source. And that's the whole point about these mixers. The mixers are supposed to help you capture the best sound at the source. At the source. So that you don't necessarily have issues. Something just popped off here. I felt it. Something just popped off here. Oh, one of the knobby bits just popped off the bottom of this. This was a good mixer board, though. It does not owe me a thing. The mixer board does not owe me a thing. But when you activate some of those pre-built-in effects, noise sound, when you start doing I want it to sound like we're in a town hall. I want it to sound like we're in a massive theater. I want it to sound like we're in a black box theater. You're actually affecting the original signal. So the original signal will always have that. What you want to do is you want to have the cleanest, rawest audio to start with, and then in post-production, you want to tinker. Which is why when people say, well, if I'm going to record, I'll just fix this in post, and I'll take out some of the noise and some of the room. Yeah, you can try that, but that's going to actually make your job and the audio that you're creating even tougher to get right. So try to start with the best, cleanest, most quiet sound, the most quiet audio you can start with, and then it'll be easier for you to zhuzh up in post. Why music recordings always keep masters? Exactly right. What about some of the purely digital mixer boards, like all software? So again, the problem with the all digital is it depends on a couple of things. One, are you willing to make that investment? Because a lot of times those purely digital software packages tend to be even more expensive than the audio boards themselves. Secondly, if your processor speeds or your RAM speeds can't help you process all that data coming in, that can also cause issues. My personal thoughts about it. Maybe I'm being old man Morris in this moment. Maybe I am, but I prefer to have my digital editing software, or Digital Audio Workshop, or Digital Audio Workbench, also called DAWs. I prefer to have them just be for editing. I don't want to necessarily have to balance anything while I'm recording it, because again, you got to hear that audio in real time, and sometimes if your processors are not up to speed, there's going to be issues. There's going to be issues. For example, right now I'm working on. I've got a lot of RAM in her, and she's doing great. But I've got a feeling that I have one more year left in my Mac, and then I'm going to have to put her out to pasture. That being said, I got that Mac in 2008. If you can get 10 years out of a computer, 10 quality years out of a computer, you're doing all right. There is a bit more quality when you're working with mixer boards and things like that, and not going completely digital. I think totally digital mixing, it's got its place. It's got its pros and its cons. It's the difference between CD versus vinyl. You know what I mean? Hello, have I ever played Fortnite? Bass, I have played Fortnite many moons ago. I think the last time I played Fortnite, the John Wick skin was just introduced. That's not the topic here right now, but I do appreciate the question. Thank you very much for visiting us on our stream, and I do appreciate it. But I'm not a Fortnite streamer. I leave that to Ninja and Dr. Lupo. Those are the guys you want to watch play Fortnite. You only want to watch me play Fortnite if you want to watch me hold my breath and turn blue. I haven't played Fortnite in a long time. But I applaud those who knock it out of the park. I tell you, not bad being 16 and being a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. It's been, like I said, it's been a while. It's been a while since I played Fortnite. But I leave that to the masters. I leave that to folks like Ninja. I leave that to folks like Lupo. Although lately, no, I take that back. I have seen Lupo pull out the Fortnite now and then. You want a Friday Fortnite? Absolutely not. No. I tell you what. If you really want to see me play Fortnite, I think I have in my videos. I think I do have some Fortnite clips in the archives. Let me see if I can find it real quick. If I go to channel. No, if I go to video producer, and under video producer, I go to highlight, and let me scroll back in the archives. Let me scroll back. Still in 2019, everybody. Hang tight. I think we're going to go back to 2017. That might be the last time I had it. Ooh, we're getting there. April. Oh. Here we go. I'll go on ahead and, let's see. I'll go on ahead and drop that. And let's see. Share. There we go. So here's one. I think this is only fair. If you really want to see a clip from Fortnite,
This is the one that debates me all the fucking time. You're a
Oh, I do love Marv. He's so delightful. But that's not the clip I wanted to show. Here we go. Fortnite. Back in my day, Back in my day, if you wanted to syndicate a podcast, you'd have to take the fishing wire from your tin can and tie it onto my tin can's fishing wire, and then you would have a syndicated podcast. That was what syndication was back in my day. Let's see. This was a good one. This was also a pretty good one, I think. Little Triumph's personal best. Oh yeah, here you go. Little Triumph's personal best. This is going back a ways. All right, here's another highlight. Another quick highlight. Hang on. I think this was one where I actually got into a little argy-bargy with somebody in Fortnite, and I actually came out ahead. I actually came out in stream. You had cans? Yeah. Yeah, baseball, I'm old. I'm old. You'll get used to it. I'll give you one more, and then I'm going to go back to what I was talking about. I think this was another return. I'd taken a break from streaming. Just I had to get my head in the game. I was having a rough go around this time, but here's one more. So there you go. Just a couple from the archives. Wow, that was the last time I played Fortnite was April 2nd, 2018. Has been a while, chat. Has been a while. All right. So I didn't want to stream for too long. I only wanted to do a quick little pop-up stream, maybe 2 hours, 3 at the most. But I wanted to see how lively how lively the chat got, and it looks like it's picking up. Granted, we're talking about Fortnite, which is do it again. Well, here's why. Here's why, baseball. Okay, so first off, I had a change in my job recently, and because of that, it cut into my gaming time. And because it cut into my gaming time, I have to be very specific on what I want to play, and you know, I just have to be real picky with my time. Also, because I'm not necessarily a gamer. I like to tell people I'm not a gamer that happens to write. I'm a writer that happens to game. As you can see down in the corner, those are books I've written. That's Podcasting for Dummies and Twitch for Dummies. And if you don't believe me, trust me, they are right here. And these books are real. These books are at a place called a bookshop, and you can go in and pick them up. Or you can go to Amazon, and you can find them there. And there's even a possibility that I will be doing an audio version of Podcasting for Dummies. I even got books where the Dummies people have asked me to come in and asked me to write stuff for the youngins, for the Utes. And I've got in here, here's how you make a video highlights reel. I got that right here. And then, if you don't like the dummy stuff, don't worry. I write science fiction with my wife. So to do that means time. So if I'm going to invest time in being a writer, I have to, on the flip side, decide, okay, when am I going to get on and game and stream and do all that? Which clip are you watching? Is it a T Monster Returns, or is it the one where it's less building, more art, or which one are you watching? So going back to what you said earlier, so I have to be very, very focused on the gaming that I'm doing. So I'm primarily a Destiny streamer. Whoa, baseball with the follow. And guess what? Thank you very much. I believe you just pushed me into my goal of 700 follows, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I have to decide, where am I going to spend my time? So I'm primarily spending my time in Destiny. I main a Warlock. I dabble with a Titan. I've been getting back in touch with my Hunter. Not a bad touch with my Hunter. I've just been getting back in touch with my Hunter. Although I would touch my Hunter's back because baby got back. But anyway, that's a different story altogether. So there's that. But on Fridays, instead of doing a Fortnite Friday like Drafty was talking about, I do what's called the Friday Fun Run. And I just to keep it interesting, I say, okay, I'm going to do a game other than Destiny. And recently I started BioShock 2. I did BioShock 2 because I've had it sitting in its shrink wrap as a remastered edition, which is taunting me. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to get into this game. I mean, my wife and I write steampunk. If anybody should be playing BioShock, it should be me. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So but Fortnite, it's changed a lot. It has changed a lot. It is. I don't think I'm. Like I said, as you see in those clips, I try. I do the best I can. I do the best I can in Fortnite. This was back. This was like almost a year and a half ago. It's a little too tense. Plus, also, I'm not the kind of streamer that can afford to not talk to their chat. I want to make sure that I'm connecting with my chat, whether it's through a belch or what have you. I want to make sure that I am connecting with you guys. And you'll notice in a lot of those clips, when it starts to get tense, I completely shut myself off. So there's that. Zeke, how are you? Good to see you, Zeke. Fortnite is such a bad game compared to what it used to be. You shoot someone once and they build a 700,000 population community. All right, look, it's not an issue of yucking another guy's yum. Send a Discord DM, reply when you can, no rush. Sure thing, Drafty, you bet. Oh, and by the way, good luck. You and I are both in that job search, so good luck to you. I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum. I mean, I tried doing Overwatch once upon a time, but I mean, Overwatch was not my jam. Overwatch is not my thing. I know what games appeal to me. I think being a writer, the games that I enjoy the most are the games that have really good story. Even when you look at a game like Destiny, some of those adventures you go on, the storylines on some of those adventures are really, really awesome. To this day, I think one of my favorite strikes, especially as a Nightfall, to do. Yes, Destiny does have story. Thank you very much. Savitson Song, that's got a great story to it. I think, in fact, a lot of the while there's a lot of adventures to do on EDZ and on Mercury and stuff like that, I really think Titan has the best strikes. They have the best strikes to do. Period. I will. So Overwatch has so much potential, but if you don't play it for 8 hours a day, you're going to get slammed. Well, that's just one of its issues. One of the things I really didn't like about if you want to dish a little bit, I don't mind dishing about Overwatch because I actually dished about this on my blog. The thing I didn't like about Overwatch was they had all these wonderful backstories for characters, and you would get them in shorts, but there was never a story mode. And I would have liked a story mode in Overwatch. The story modes in Destiny have just gotten better and better and better. Yes, Curse of Osiris was a serious swing and a miss. Warmind got it back on track. Forsaken was amazing, and I'm just counting down to Shadowkeep. I think Shadowkeep's going to be a blast. You get me started on a thought, and then suddenly the beer becomes a prop. There we go. Sorry about that, Grizz. I didn't necessarily mean to get all super preach, but yeah, I do. I feel like I do feel like I'm gravitating more to games that have really good stories to tell or adventures to experience. If Shadowkeep is good, Destiny's going to blow up, especially with it going to Steam and being F2P. I think time will tell. I think it's great that they've got this. They've got new light that allows people to try it out. I think it's great that in New Light you get to do the very first mission in Destiny. That way you get a little bit of where you're coming from and what the lore is and all that stuff. So I think that's kind of cool as well. Hang on a minute. I got one more swig out of this. Midas Touch. It's one of my favorite beers. Oh, I know you do. So I'm excited to see where they take Destiny. I'm really excited about that. And again, I think it's worth mentioning. Blind Gamer Steve and I, we are actually getting together on October 1st, starting at 1, and we are going to play until we go numb, probably till about 9 or 10. And we're doing it as a charity stream as well. We're doing it for an awareness, but also for a charity stream. Just make sure to swing by our respective streams on Mixer and on. Actually, hold on. Did you do? Oh, remember Unicorn? We've got this command too. Blind AMER STEVE. There you go. See, Steve went on to Mixer. So he's doing the Mixer Jam. I'm still sticking with Twitch because I didn't think it would look really good for the author of Twitch for Dummies to suddenly jump to Mixer. As just a quick side tangent, I'm not showing any necessarily interest in going over to Mixer. I've been pretty happy with Twitch. Now, granted, we'll see what happens after TwitchCon. I'm excited for TwitchCon. Oh, Book of Ravens? Is this who I think it is? Is that you, Errol? Tell me that's you, Errol. Tell me that's you. That's the only Book of Ravens I know. Oh, you're having scotch. Very nice. Very nice job. What's that scotch you're drinking, Scott? What's that scotch you're drinking? What is that scotch you're drinking? But now, Book of Ravens, I need to know. Is that you, Errol? Is that you? Yes! Okay. Quick story about Book of Ravens. This guy has been my internet pal for coming up on a decade, I think, if not longer. This guy, he is, first off, you've got to follow his Instagram. You've got to follow his Instagram, Book of Ravens, because this guy does Halloween like nobody's business. He will do like the Clive Barker Hellraiser shit. It is just absolutely off the hook. It's phenomenal to look at. But yeah, this guy, oh my God. And you're going to gift him a sub to Unicorn. Bless your heart. Bless your cotton socks. So what does that mean? What does that mean, Errol? That means you get the emotes. You get the blurb walk on. You can have a sound effect play when you come into stream. You've got exclusive channels on my Discord. That's pretty awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so very, very, very much, Unicorn. Now that's official. We now have hit our goal for follows. We have now hit our goal for follows. We have 700 people following the stream. Thank you, everybody, for making that happen. I really, really do appreciate it. That's sending me sending me into the week of TwitchCon, because that's what this is. This is going to be the week of TwitchCon. But let me go back. So Errol and I, we met. You're going to love this because I remember this, Errol. We met through Napster. Remember Napster, chat? Do you remember Napster? That was where we met, and we would exchange music like what I got playing in the background right now. Errol was a hardcore raver, and I mean he would send me shots of him. Just he would look like Neo with frosted tips. It was crazy, and I was so jealous because I by that time I was too old to go to a rave, and I remember telling him that. I said I'm too old for that, and he's like, no, you're not. You're never too old to rave. So maybe that will happen at TwitchCon. I don't know. Oh, you posted a label in the Twitch subs channel. There you go. That's the way to do it, buddy. That's the way to do it. But yeah, that's funny. I'm glad you found me, man. I'm glad you found me. Welcome to my channel. I appreciate that, Errol. That's great. Yeah, baby. Still got the album. Fan-effing-tastic. Yeah, I've broadened now. That's the thing now. I mean, I've broadened my my taste since then. I still love my electronica, still love my trance, still love my house. But now I'm starting to appeal to the metalhead in me now. If you do a search for me on Spotify, I have a mix called Anthems from Agretsuko, and that's my jam. I just rolled out that particular I just rolled out that particular that particular playlist this week, and it was a really nice. It was a hit. It was a hit. It isn't well, Islay Scotch is good Scotch, so I can't wait to try it out. I can't wait to see what you got there. Can't wait to see what you got there, Drafty. So, Chad, thank you all very much. I really appreciate each and every one of you hanging out here. A metal version of My Way. I'll go you one better. Hold on a minute. If you guys want to hear something absolutely amazing, this was from a friend of mine. He turned me on to this band, and I absolutely love what they do. Hold on one second. I'm gonna. Let's see. And I want. Where is it? Looking for Crazy Train. Excuse me. Nope. Here it is. Here it is. Let me turn it up. We'll come back to this music in a second, but here we go. Take a listen to this. Wait for it. There's that violinist. We got to get to the hook. So wait for it. Wait for the hook. The name of the band is Metalachi. And yes, I have listened to the entire album. It is absolutely priceless. It is absolutely priceless. All right, let me get back to a little more electronica. Here we go. There we go. Always nice to set a mood. Okay, everybody. So, for those of you new to the stream, hi, how you doing? This has been a content creation stream. I've been talking a little bit about microphones. I was asked earlier by a streamer. His name is Shit Just Works, and that's SCHIT Just Works. And he wanted to know specifically. About microphones. He wanted to know what microphone am I using, and what's the what do I recommend? And I said, you know what? I will do an entire show about microphones. And I've been talking for about 2 hours about microphones and about working with audio equipment and things like that. So if anybody's got any questions for me, because I know we've had a spike in our viewership, and I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Thank you so much. Normally this is Gaming with the T-Monster. I'm primarily a Destiny channel, but I will do things like this. I'll be doing variety streams, but I'll also be doing on Fridays a Friday Fun Run where I play something other than Destiny. So I'm primarily a Destiny channel, but I like to mix it up with other content. And I really feel like I need to do more content like this, because this is where I get to talk a little bit more about me as a writer and about what I have learned over my time in creating content, from podcasting for dummies to Twitch for dummies and things like that. So Grizzly, you're asking, why do some people hate USB mics like the Yeti? I think it's because the original mics that came out. That's a really good question. It's a very good question, as a matter of fact. Now keep in mind, I'm speaking as the guy who first wrote about USB mics back in 2006, right? These were brand spanking new microphones, and I remember I actually got when I petitioned different vendors in the audio industry. I told them what I was doing. I told them, who I was, and I said, I'm working on this book, Podcasting for Dummies, first edition. Would you be interested in having me demo any of your stuff? And Samson Audio sent me a full-on, I think it was the C102B, and it was one of the very first, along with the Yeti Snowball. Oh, sorry, not the Yeti Snowball, the Blue Snowball. One of the very first USB mics to come out. And the thing is, they had such potential. I mean, this C102 came in a beautiful, like it almost looked like you were a secret agent. You had like one of those stainless steel suitcases with it. You pop it open, and there was the microphone. And these microphones all had potential, but the very early, the early vanguard of USB mics, the Yeti, the Blue, because they were so experimental, because they were so bleeding edge technology, they had issues with latency. And I talked about latency earlier. I don't mind rehashing that for people who are new to the stream. Latency is what happens when the data can't keep up with the actual signal coming in. So what happens is you start getting a feedback loop. You start getting echo. If you come to my gaming streams, sometimes you'll hear on my PS4 people who are talking, and sometimes the game itself will have an echo. Why is that? The reason it has that is that for some reason there is a latency issue between the PS4 and my Origin PC. It could be the audio card. It could be something in the PS4. I'm not sure. I just know that when I go and I have my comms on Discord, I never have the issue. So that's why I think some people go hating on USB mics. But take a look at this. This is one of the recent microphones to come out as a USB. This is the Shure MV51. And this is a fantastic microphone. First off, it comes with its own kickstand. So literally, I can just pull this out, and it's ready to go. It's fully USB. It actually has, if you take a look, the interface is completely touch interface. Expensive. If I remember correctly, it is under $100. Let me double check. But this is my gaming mic. That's my gaming mic. Now this one is only $50, and this is the Shure MV5. Again, very, very minimalistic, very sophisticated, and I like it. And it's got a very nice sound, a very, very nice sound. But let me just double check the price of an MV51. Don't mind looking that up real quick. It'll only take me a second. Good to have you in the stream, Grizz. Grizzly's known me for quite some time as well, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Shure MV51. It will cost you a whopping... Oh, no, I take that back. This one, the Shure MV51, costs you $200. So that's... you can find it at $185 on some stores. Oh, and this one will cost you $90. So the MV5 costs you $90. The MV51 costs you $2. Costs you $2 Benjamins. Now, that being said, there are other kinds of microphones that you can pick up for $200. Yeah. Oh man, the salad days of the salad days of podcasting, man. Am I sure it's a good mic, Drafty? I have never been more sure in all my life. Shure microphone, Shure microphone, Shure microphone. I mean, right here, buddy, right here. But any other questions you guys have about audio equipment, please feel free to ask. Feel free to ask about mics. Feel free to ask. We were I was, like I said, it came up in a conversation on Instagram. So again, if you have questions about content creation, whether it's audio, whether it's video, or otherwise, 2 Yetis, dang, you're good. You're good, Grizzly. Don't worry, you're good. You are solid right there. So yeah, so it's been a good run. It's been a really good run on today. I got what I needed to get done. I got what I needed to get done for the day job. So I'm breathing a lot easier. That's actually why I had the beer. I wanted to go ahead and have a nice little celebratory beer, and just ease into my Sunday. I'm gonna probably be hitting the gym a little later, just to get some of the pent up energy that I had from all the other crap I was dealing with. So yeah, TwitchCon. TwitchCon is next. Oh, so here's something. Is a mixer with a Heil PR40. Ooh. Is a mixer with a Heil PR40 better than my Yeti? Okay. So let me make sure if I remember correctly. What speakers do you suggest for home entertainment for best surround sound? Wow. Okay, those are two really good questions. Okay, first off, let me pull up. When it comes to home theater systems, I know people love to talk up Bose. I like Bose. I'm not crash hot crazy about Bose. Sometimes I think Bose just boost the bass and that's about it. I'm not entirely convinced that Bose is all that in a bag of chips. My current home theater system is Samsung, and I've been very, very, very happy with Samsung. Samsung has taken great care of me in the past, so I can't complain about that. So I've actually worked with a Heil PR40 before. I like their microphones. Their microphones are pretty solid. Their microphones are pretty solid. The only thing I've noticed about Heil microphones is they tend to bring more treble out of my voice than the bass. If I were to rank the different mics I have in here, I would say I would rank Shure at the top, MXLs a very close second because I've gotten a lot of use out of MXL. I've also got an MXL BCD1, and that's a very good mic too. It's a very, very good mic. Not necessarily all about the bass. I love the pickups of the Shure SM7B. So I can't necessarily complain about that. But a P40 with a mixer, step up from the Yeti. It's kind of like comparing a Cadillac to a Tesla. You know, the Caddy and the Tesla both are luxury cars, and they both have a lot of good things going for it. But one's a USB mic, the other one is a straight up XLR mic. So I don't necessarily think comparing the two, and especially when it comes to the mixer, if you're buying a mixer and all you got is one microphone, I think that is not well vested money, because as I mentioned earlier, and I'll bring this back up here. So when it comes to mixers, the thing about mixers is you're basically going to have multiple hosts. You're gonna have at least 3 people in studio, four if you're really rocking it. I mean, I can host in this studio comfortably. I can host up to 4 people, and when you have a round robin table discussion like that, I think you have the potential of having a really lively stream and a real lively podcast, if that's what your goal is. But if it's just you flying solo, I think you're fine with a Yeti. The Yeti is a fine USB mic. It's reliable, and Blue has only gotten better at creating USB mics. That was something I didn't get a chance to really talk about. USB mics have come a long way since the very first Podcasting for Dummies. Matter of fact, when we were doing the 3rd edition of PFD, I actually talked to Chuck about it, and I said, we got this whole thing here about latency. I think we can remove it. And Chuck's like, yeah, that was dated. I mean, yes, you had that issue in 2006. We don't have it now 10 years later. I love you. I love you so much, Drafty. You don't like mixers. You just prefer it neat. Exactly. Why would anybody want to spoil a perfectly good scotch with a mixer? Why? Why, I ask you? But yeah, I think with if you're flying solo, that's really all you need. Now, I will say this. So Shit Just Works, and I'll give him another shout out in chat. He was really in fact, I haven't seen him pop. Oh, whoops! Wait. Let's try that again. Command shout out SCHIT Just Works. WORKS. There you go. So, wait, did I misspell it? Oh, SHC. Jeez. All right, this is for the money. SCHITGUSTWORKS. There we go. Thank you. Thank you so much. No, I did not get this gig for typing. That's why I have an editor. Whoa. That's why I have an editor there, Grizz. That's why I have an editor. So anyway, but going back to what I was saying. So Shit Just Works actually uses, for his microphone, he just upgraded to a microphone, which I was thrilled about because he was using his onboard mic on the on his desktop. Now, here's the thing: if you want to use, like, if you're streaming off of a laptop or if you're streaming off a desktop and you've got the out of the box microphone, you can use that. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem was that he just upgraded his microphone, and he got himself a Shure. Was it Shure? No, it was the Samson G-Track. So what's the G-Track? First off, before Drafty says it, no, it is nothing like a G-string. But the G-Track is it's actually a microphone that looks a lot like this. Looks a lot like the MXL 990. But what's really cool about it is it actually has a preamp built into it. And if you wanted to, the G-Track would actually the G-Track will actually have a it'll actually have a small preamp that you could actually plug in a guitar or another instrument, a second microphone that's out to pick up an acoustic mic. In fact, hang on a second. I think I might actually have a photo of it in Podcasting for Dummies. Hold on a minute. Let's see if I can find it. Let's go to the go to G, and let's see. There's Geek. There's GarageBand. There's Geek Wolfpack. G-Track. Samson Technologies. Page 48. And nope. There it is. So this right here is the G-Track. That's the Samson G-Track. Seriously though, if your recording room gets hot, be careful where your fan blows. Aim it in your body, not your face. The mic can pick it up and add choppy sound. That is very true. That is very true, Drafty. But this is the G-Track. And if I remember correctly, the G-Track... I thought I put the price in there. But I want to say the price for the G-Track is about $150 or so. It's a good mic. Really good mic. I actually gave one to Phil Rossi as a gift, and I had him test it on stream, and it just sounded. I actually had him test it for one episode of Podcasting for Dummies, and it just sounded amazing. Driving at work. That was supposed to say still at work. Hang on a minute. Not anymore. Miracle of Miracles. Sorry, hold on a second. I got it done. Okay. Was typing that when you made me laugh with the G-string comment. Hey, noob. How are you? Good to see you in chat. Good to see you on chat. Good to see you in stream. Appreciate you being here. I can be serious. I just like. Isn't it funny though? You're actually typing a serious comment, Drafty, and then I make you laugh with an irreverent comment because you have me well trained, buddy. You have me well trained. That's the way to look at it. All right, so here's the thing. I'm gonna be signing off soon. I'm gonna hit the pool. I'm gonna hit the pool so hard it's gonna hit back. I need to get in a swim. I think my wife is kind of chilling out right now. She was not actually feeling well, so I want to make sure she's got time to rest up. Favorite vehicle all time? I can answer that without question. The Tesla Model X. I just recently drove one of those, and I cannot stress to you how incredibly cool it was to drive that Tesla. So here's the story of how I got it. My brother-in-law from New Zealand, he basically rents out luxury cars. He rents out Mercedes-Benz. He's done the Lamborghini once or twice. I remember he had a Maserati, and I said, "Ooh, what was that like?" And he was like, "Well, the way to look at a Maserati is a lot like looking at an Italian woman. It's high priced, it's high maintenance, and when you wanted to go somewhere, she's never ready." So, yeah, you bet, Grizz, you bet. I'll definitely do that. But Andrew knows that I'm a huge fan of electric cars, and he knows that I'm a big fan of the Tesla. And while I've done a test drive, I've never actually spent I've done a test drive of a Tesla before, but I've never done like a full-on test. You know, I've never had it for like a more than 2 hours at a time. So he rented for a weekend a Tesla Model X, which is their SUV. I would not need an SUV, but I would want the Tesla X. It was absolutely wonderful to drive. Absolutely wonderful to drive. Jaguar F-Type R from Modern Vehicles and Ford Galaxy 500 four-door classic favorite. Ooh, those are strong choices, man. Those are strong choices. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense though. But the thing about fans is like I have a ceiling fan up here because it does sometimes get really warm in the studio. It won't be so bad when it starts to get cold outside. But right now, like summer, it's always tricky because if I want to record any audio, if I want to record any audiobooks, I have to, that's when I want to go for the total noise floor. So I have to tell Serena, look, don't get too loud. I'm recording downstairs, and then I have to shut down the air conditioning. It gets a little chilly during the winter, but during the summer it gets miserably hot, and that can be an issue. M1A2 Abrams, especially if it becomes fully stocked, that'd be great on my commute. Try the Paladin. There's car talk happening in my chat. Car talk happening. Lots of car talk. Oh my God! Unicorn with 200 bits plus a bonus 20 because it is Subway. It is September. Remember, it is September, which means you can subscribe to this channel for 50% off, and I do appreciate that. I don't think I've got blurbs set up on this particular mode. Damn. That's right. Now we're talking personal and armored personnel. Oh my God. All right. Car talk is still car talk, I say. Yeah, the reason it didn't come up here, Unicorn, is because I don't necessarily have this template. I just fixed the template for gaming, but this is my talk show template. And I'm thrilled that I actually had subs set up, but I forgot to set up the blurbs. But I will do that for next time because I really do need to do this more often. Just have some creative talk. But yeah. Hold on. Sorry. So very good. There we go. That's right. That's what we're talking about. Sub perks. Well, I got some more sub perks in the works. I've got to start looking seriously at. I've got to start seriously looking at song requests. I've got to really start looking at song requests. Your schedule still has blind leading to blind on Tuesdays. It does? Ooh, I better fix that. Well, now wait a minute. Oh, you're talking about the one that's in my Twitch stream. Yeah, I've got to fix that. I thought I fixed it, but there's been a lot happening on my on my end, and I've got to get that stuff sorted. Yeah, but you know what? It's those little details that matter. Now, to be fair, one of the pieces of advice that I give to people that I've heard a lot of other streamers give too, I support song request idea. Okay, good to know. One of the things that I do tell people is having your schedule posted somewhere is a good thing. Now, granted, I may be contradicting my schedule because I have something saying, oh, we're doing this on this date, we're doing this on this date. So I've got to make sure that's all ironed out before I go to TwitchCon. I want to make sure my I's are dotted, my T's are crossed for TwitchCon. But apart from all that, I think I do need to start wrapping up stream. No. That's the reason I don't want to do song requests, because then suddenly people are going to doing song request Baby Shark and crap like that. Anyway. Or they'll start trolling. I shouldn't say they will start trolling me. Drafty will start trolling me. This is why we can't have nice things. Probably. So if nobody has any more questions for me concerning audio equipment, concerning content creation, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. This has been an absolutely blast of a stream. It's great to be able to just chit-chat away and share ideas with you all. That's why I'm doing stuff like Podcasting for Dummies, Twitch for Dummies, and I'm actually pitching right now. I'm pitching Discord for Dummies. Hopefully I will hear something by the end of next week, but I'm really hoping Discord for Dummies can be a thing, because what I've noticed about Discord is that people think it's cool, but there's a lot to it. And I think having something in print that you can go back and reference as opposed to going on websites and hopping on website to website, it would be nice. That's okay. That's okay, noob. There's going to be, I guarantee you, there will be another one. There will be another one. I just shouldn't let them, span over time so much. So let's go on ahead and let's see who's on. Who is on right now? Oh, wow. Some really good people are on. Oh, man. Just looking at the follower goal, that tells me exactly how long it's been since I've done a stream like this. Oh, Power GPU's on. He's good people. Power GPU is really good people. And Alkali Lake is on. That's cool. Danfinity is on. Man, there's some good people hopping on now. Just as I'm coming out, people are hopping back on. Oh, and guess what? Lupo just went live, and he's doing Fortnite. Watch him jump to the top of my list. Who are we gonna send everybody to? I think we're gonna send the crowd to Power GPU because he's good people. He is also just chatting. Oh, Ashley Christ is also just chatting. Wow, so many people just chatting. Well, it's a good. Whoa, Grizzly with the sub. With the last minute sub. Thank you, Grizzly. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Oh, wow. Nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Enjoy those emotes. Enjoy that blurb next time you come on, the walk-on sound effect. Enjoy the exclusive channels on Twitch. Drafty. So let me get this straight. You guys don't want me to wrap up stream. Is that what's going on? 69 plus 6. Giggity. You guys don't want me to wrap up stream, do you? You just want me to keep going. You just want me to keep going until my voice gives. I get it. Let's see. Well, I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go on ahead and last I saw it, it was in the Now, here's the thing, chat. If I had my MXL on, you would have heard what Pip just asked me. But since I have my Shure SM7B, you didn't hear it. She was asking me where her headphones were. The last place I saw them was on the cafe table upstairs. Okay. Are you ready to go? You can always borrow my headphones, darling. By the way, Grizzly says hi. Yes. And so does Pyria. Moira. She wants to sell Dragon Scout cookies. Again. Actually, she's feeling good now. I think she's feeling good. Oh yeah, chat. Oh, that's the other thing. If you go to my Discord, Drafty, who you've never met, also says hi. If you go to my Discord, you will see under the food channel on my Discord, you will see the amazing scones. My wife has made pumpkin harvest scones, and they are ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. Okay. Now, this raid. Let's see what's gonna happen here. Let's look at this raid. Yeah, I think we're gonna go say hey to Power GPU. So let's do this. First off, I'm gonna give you this message for you to copy, and we're gonna copy this, and we're gonna paste that into our. Yeah, you're gonna paste that into Power GPU stream, and now Power GPU, he's featured in Twitch for Dummies, and he's a good guy. He creates computers for people. He started off as a streamer, and now he is making stream dream machines for streamers everywhere. He just created a machine for ZG Photo, and it's pretty awesome. And the thing was, it just arrived. ZG got it all set up. It was running great, sounding great. And what happens? He gets married 2 days later, and now he's off on his honeymoon. So he won't be touching this new machine for at least a week or two. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna raid Power GPU. So let me pull up the command. Power JPU. Power JPU. Oh no, he knows. I actually interviewed him for the Dummies book. So let's go ahead and let's raid Power GPU. This has been an absolute blast. I hope you got something out of this stream. I hope it was entertaining for you. We will definitely be doing this again in the future. I'm not going to wait months on end until I do this again, because this is stuff that I enjoy getting out. So thanks everybody. I'll be seeing you all. I'll be seeing you all periodically throughout TwitchCon. If I can, I'll try to sneak in a stream before I leave. But we'll talk more about that next time we get on, because TwitchCon is this coming week. So until next time, I will talk to you all later. Have a great end of the weekend. Until next time, peace.